on Margaret about 8 minutes, 9 minutes. In that range. In less than 48 hours, we'll celebrate, commemorate the Yom Tov of Shavuos, when the Shemayim, the heavens, the skies opened up, and the Rebbe spoke directly to us, to the Klal Yisrael, some 600,000. Every Yom Tov, every festival outside of Eretz Yisrael, outside the land of Israel, is celebrated 2 days. Yom Tov Sheini, called Yom Tov Sheini Shel Galiyos. 2 days Yom Tov. Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, each are, even though they're 8 days, but there's 2 full holidays, full Yom Tovim, where all labors are forbidden, Lacha is Osir, Shavuos as well. And the reason for it is because the calendar, the Luach, used to be Rosh Chodesh, the first of the month, was set always by witnesses coming to the great Bezdin in Yerushalayim, and they would testify that they saw the beginning of a new moon, which meant that the month began then, and until word would reach the diaspora in exile outside of the land of Israel, would take up to more than 2 weeks maybe. So every Yom Tov had to be celebrated 2 days, because perhaps the first day was Yom Tov, Rosh Chodesh was this day, and perhaps the second day was Yom Tov. So 2 days were always Yom Tov. So the question is, on Shavuos, why do we have to have 2 days Yom Tov on Shavuos? Because we know that from the second day of Pesach, Sheva Shabbosos Tmios Tiyena. We count their spirit, we count 49 days, and at the end of 49 days from the second day of Pesach, that's when Shavuos has to be. So there can't be any question as to when Shavuos should be. So why do we celebrate 2 days Yom Tov on Shavuos? It's because of Loi Plug, a uniformity that just like every other Yom Tov is 2 days, Shavuos has to also be 2 days. Because if we'll celebrate only 1 day Yom Tov Shavuos, and people always have a tendency to confuse, and they say, oh, if this year Yom Tov, so maybe Pesach, oh, it should be 1 day. So there can't be any difference between Pesach and Shavuos and Sukkot, all that be 2 days Yom Tov. In the time of Reb Shlomo Kluger, there was a Shchimera, someone who was, the prognosis was very poor, he was about to leave this world. And the doctors weren't certain. They said it could be any moment. And it was a childless couple. So he didn't want that his wife, who would be a widow, should be at the mercy of his brothers, to have Yibum Archlitze, that she wouldn't be able to remarry. She would have to first go through the process of having his brother either free her or marry her. And he didn't want her to go through anything like that. And he was concerned that he might leave this world on Shavuos itself. And so a number of Rabbonim, they felt that being that the only reason that we have 2 days Shavuos is not because there's some kind of question. We know that Shavuos has to be on this day, on the 50th day after counting 49 days. The only reason because of uniformity, so it's not there's no question whatsoever. We know it's not Yom Tov, being there's no question, so they wanted to be matir, permit a sefer, a scribe, to sit down and write a get on the second day of Yom Tov, and to free her, that she should be able to be, once she leaves this world, she's free. And Rabbi Fishbain said no. He said, here it's the exact opposite. By every other Yom Tov, it's only because of doubt. We're not sure whether this Yom Tov is the first day or the second day. So there, it's only a Sophic Yom Tov. He says, but here by Shavuos, because they reenact that it must be 2 days Shavuos because of like pluk, so that's not Sophic, that's Vadai. As a result, he said it's even more chom or more stringent. There has to be 2 days Yom Tov. You can't really get on the second Yom Tov. Arba midas b'deis. There are 4 temperaments by human beings. One is that he's noach lichois and noach lirtzois. Someone who is easy to appease, easy to come into anger, and easy to appease, is just a schore b'fseidai. His gain is offset by the loss. Because let's take a smear, if you'll be able to appease him, but he gets angry so quickly, it doesn't take much to get him angry, so there's not the fact that you can appease him, it doesn't add much. Kosher lichois, kosher lirtzois, someone who's difficult to bring into anger and difficult to appease, he's the opposite. Yotza hefseidai b'schorei. The loss is offset by the gain, because being that it takes very long until you can bring him into anger, and he doesn't get excited that quickly, his temper is such, so with Mele, it'll take time till he gets angry. Of course, once he gets angry, it's going to take a long time to appease him, but it'll take time till he gets angry, so he took care of it. The other 2 are kosher b'chois v'nach lirtzois. Somebody who's difficult to bring into anger, it's difficult to get on his bad side, and noach lirtzois, and it's very easy to appease. That's a chosid. That's a very pious, righteous individual. Noach lichois v'kosher lirtzois, someone who is very easy to upset him, to bring him into anger, but it's difficult to appease him. Russia, this is a wicked individual. The question is, we're talking about temperaments. So if someone who is, he gets excited easily, so why should he be, that's the nature he was born with. Why should he be considered a Rosh, a wicked individual? That's the kind of an emotional person. It's easy to bring him back. He gets emotional. So then he should be that emotional. On the positive side as well, it should be easy to appease him. Why is it not easy to appease him? That shows that he takes everything the wrong way. Whatever anybody does is no good. It's technisch. So that's a wicked individual. And by the same token, someone who is difficult to bring into anger, so we'd say there's a person that you can't move him that quickly. It's hard to move him. You can't assure. It takes time till he gets excited. If it takes time to get excited, so it should take time till you can appease him. So why is it easy to appease him? Because he works on himself. He strives to perfect himself, to perfect his character traits. That's why he's a chossid. There are those that, they always take everything wrong, and they're perfect, and everybody else is taking it. There was somebody who, he sat down, he used to keep a record of all of his wife's shortcomings, all of his wife's chosronos. His own shortcomings he didn't record. His wife's shortcomings, that he recorded. There was a community where unfortunately there was a migrate, there broke out an epidemic. So they held a meeting, and they called together the townspeople, and they said, we know, we're all Yid, Maminim, Ben Maminim. We live with faith and betochen, and we know that nothing happens for just because it's coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence. There must be something here in the community, someone, for some reason, misdeeds, some sort of sin, some sort of mentions of Vergangenheit. So we're sending out a committee to search out, investigate who committed the sin, and that he should repent. So the Rav, when he definitely heard about this, he said, of course, the approach is correct. That concept, that hashkove, that things don't happen by themselves. There must be reason for it. There's somewhere somebody we're being punished because of someone's wrongdoing. But that doesn't mean you should go out looking by somebody else's. Each one should investigate themselves. Shouldn't think it's somebody else. First, see that your house is in order, and then you it's getting excited. Not getting excited. We'll compose a very interesting story. The Reb Shmuel Salant, the Rabbi Yerushalayim, they came before him. I didn't pay to settle a dispute, and one of them was a timid, very humble human being, and the other was an arrogant atakif, an arrogant young man. Shmuel Salant, the Rav, he listened to both sides of the dispute, and he ruled in favor of the timid, humble individual. Of course, as expected, this arrogant individual got up, he says to him, Rabbi, he said, you think I'm going to take this laying down? I'm going to break out every window in your house. So he said, and you think that I'll take that laying down either? Somehow he was shocked. He didn't expect that kind of response. He quieted down, he bent over, and he left the house. He left it in prayer. Those that were sitting there said, Rebbe, he said, you know who you're starting up with? What would you do to him? What would you do if he broke out all the windows in your house? What would you do? He said, what do you mean, what would I do? I'd go call a glazier to fix him. Ratzak, when he broke the Zaki, says, Yisrael, the Tikach Himra of Torah, Yisrael, Shnemar, Adonai Chovitz, Machitoi, Yadi, Torah, Yadi.
Iskada, Shmei Lavo.